You know, I think of all the things that I like the most about anything that I'm trying to do, right, is probably this platform. If you guys haven't started a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel because it gives you the opportunity to express yourself in ways that, I don't know, you'll figure it out. So, let's get a general reading, shall we? This reading is for entertainment purposes only. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And ignore any maybe symptoms of disorientation or, you know, you could experience anything, right? I don't know who you are. I mean, you could be flipping through the channels and you're in the middle of getting sick. I don't know. What do we got here? Jeez. Huh. So you guys have somebody in your energy. You guys are at home. You guys are at peace right now. If you're watching this channel, there's jealousy around you and a little bit of trickery. But the shaman is guiding your way. I love this picture of the shaman in this deck. This is your inner shaman. This is like the hermit card, right? So, probably one of the most I would say it's one of the most powerful cards. A lot of people say the Emperor is, right? But you know, Emperor's Lord of the Realm. I think it's all perception, right? I mean, the Sun card is so make me happy, make me shine. I'm happy no matter what. So, I mean, if you can pull the Sun card anytime, the Sun card's good. It's kind of hard to say that the Sun card could possibly be bad. I don't think you can say that the Shaman's bad either. This is the one card. So this is the Wizard in the tarot deck. But to me, in this one, the Shaman is more like a... In a way, he is a wizard. So think of the Wizard this way. So if you look at the tarot deck and you look at the Wizard card, he's got all of the suits laid out in front of him, and he's holding up the Egyptian thingy, right? So he's mastered his will, his mind, his emotions, and his inner fruits of the spirit. That's the only way that you can get to the Magician card. Now, I did a video about this a while back. And the only card more powerful than the Magician is the Fool, because the Fool is almost like a leap of faith, like a will of, there's nothing that can harm the Fool. That's where everything starts. That's the zero state. And that's the why that is the zero state, and why, and this is something that I haven't heard anybody ever teach before, and they don't really talk about it, but the Fool is the most powerful card because of the purity of his heart. And he's holding the white rose. Nobody else is holding the white rose. So the Shaman here could have poor intent, right? I mean, we don't see the intent of the Shaman or the Wizard. Wizard is the number one card, Fool's the zero card. So let's get some more on the Wizard card. Let's see if this is you, if you're watching this. Try to determine your intent. Or it could be somebody, take what resonates. This could be somebody else in your environment. There's jealousy, and you're at home, but there's also a little bit of trickery around you. People that are... their will is questionable. Right? Six of Arrows. Transition. Transitioning. The Hermit. Or the Ancestor. So this is, to me, or this is more like... Ancestors guidance. So almost like this is, I think, if you were to compare it with I don't want to compare it with the other ones. I like the fact that it's an ancestor in the woods. So if you look at this picture, you're being guided by the moon. So you're kind of being guided by your intuition, and your ancestors are kind of standing there as a guide, as the shaman in a transitionary period. Balance. In a balanced state. The Journey. I love this Journey card. This is one of the most amazing decks. If you guys don't have this deck, I'll show you the Balance card. This Balance card has got snakes wrapped around a tree. And the Journey has got just a bunch of crows on it. But crows are communication. So, like monitoring spirits, right? I mean, crows are super smart, and they're always talking, and they're looking at everything. It's like the eagle, but kind of the dark side of the eagle, right, is the crow. And the Journey is always in the dark, right? In moonlight. We've got all moonlight cards out here. Even the Six of Arrows of transition is in the moonlight. You're in transition. Everything's dark. You don't know where you're going, but you're sailing there, right? We still don't know the intent of the Hermit. Balance, ancestral wisdom, transition, and the Journey. So what do you guys think? How do you resonate with this? Knight of Arrows, the hawk. Hawks are birds of prey. King of Vessels, the heron. So why would the King of Cups be like a heron, right? Because this is this Wildwood Tarot is deck takes other aspects of the traditional tarot. So this is kind of like the King of Cups. The King of Vessels, the heron. Herons stay still no matter what's going on around them. So if your environment is toxic, right, and the heron doesn't need to be seen. The heron is just happy to be there, right? And kind of accepting its environment. Herons don't feel threatened. I've gotten close to herons, and herons just swoop up and fly away gracefully if you threaten them. The spirit of the heron is the King of Cups, now that you think about it, right? Because I made a video earlier today with my brother. We were talking about Jesus. And if you remember the story of him, you could say if the King of Cups aspect of that character, whether you believe in him or not, is, it's still, the story is still profound in a lot of ways. Where he always ran away if anybody tried to threaten him or challenge his position or his truth, right? He just ran away. Always in a loving state. It's like, all right, I don't want to cause conflict here. Just, he ran away. So yeah, in your loving energy, but also active. If the hawk is looking and kind of, it's like the Knight of Wands, where you're starting a journey of self-discovery, kind of. So none of it's clear, though. Nothing's clear, but you're happy, and there's jealousy around you with deceit. So literally, this is the way these cards fell out. Ten of Stones is, you're at home. I love this card, and I love this tree deck because it uses a tree so much. And And then on both sides of this card, jealousy and the fox. If you're planning things and if people feel threatened by you, this is what it looks like, right? You guys are happy at home. If somebody's feeling threatened by you, you're on this amazing journey at moonlight, being guided by your ancestors in a state of balance. And you are the wizard right now. The wizard isn't the fool. So you have direction here. You guys kind of know where you're going. Let's get some more on... And this is why I don't do this, because there's a lot of channels you guys watch where people talk more about the people around you. I'm less concerned about that, because I would rather look... Because what's the most important for anybody, doesn't matter who you are, is your internal state. And these cards right here that are describing what's around you is very promising, because you're not trying to... You're in a state of balance. So I would say that the intent of your journey is good, right? Two of Arrows, injustice. So we have injustice. Now, does this seem like injustice to you guys? I mean, that's what the card says it is. Blindfolded. And maybe it's because the scales are being hung in the balance, where one scale isn't dropping. So there's an injustice as you're choosing direction, right? This is the Fool's journey. Even though the Fool isn't out here, it wouldn't surprise me to see I think in this deck it's the Wanderer. I'll show you guys that card if it doesn't come up. Six of Bows, abundance, living in abundance. So this is, I drew these for this Ten of Stones. This is you guys' state. A state of injustice, but you still have abundance around you. That tells me that you have abundance of spirit, but there's probably an injustice as far as material wealth goes. Because a lot of times, when you're in the enlightened position, it takes time for things to manifest, right? And there could be a short-term injustice there. Nine of Vessels, eel. What does this mean to you guys? It feels like you're swimming upstream. That's what I get out of this. I'm kind of ignoring the rest of the... Look at the way this eel is running. He's running up a stream from a lake. So, and if you think it, they're calling it the Knight of Vessels. So a Knight of Vessels with an... So you're kind of trying to give love, but maybe it's not being received, right? In your environment. Depending on what you're doing, and maybe that's why there's an injustice. This is something that I think you guys probably have experienced, where let's say you're honestly trying to help a community of people by maybe showing them, and this is true for me, I mean, if you think about what I'm doing here, you watch any of my other videos, honestly trying to help people see through the illusions of our separation. None of us are separate, right? We're all one. And so if you trying to show people that, so that all, saying, hey, all we got to do is work together. We don't have to try and sell to each other. And then create the boundary where we're working together and everybody else is trying to sell it to each other. And then once people understand how easy it can be to work together, if you structure it right, you have to structure it right, because nobody, and that's why, because people have a hard time, except nobody wants to be controlled. None of us do. right? We all want freedom. We all want freedom for our own lives. And if you don't know how to work with other people, it won't create freedom, because you'll feel like if somebody feels like they need to be in charge of someone else, then invariably it turns toxic. All you can do is set the right boundaries, right? And make sure that, hey, look, this is what I'll tolerate, this is what I won't, and come up with a communal agreement that makes sense to everybody, right? Because if it doesn't matter, that's the problem with big business, right? Is because you can have all the boundaries you want, but everybody else is stepping on them. So what are you going to do, right? That being said, getting back to the King of Vessels, or the Knight of Vessels, when you're honestly trying to provide something for people to help lift them out of the state that everybody's putting themselves through constantly, where they're trying to sell to each other, right? I mean, that's why we become spiritualists, because we want to just share guidance for everyone. But whatever comes through us, it's not for me to decide what you need, right? Yeah. And so you guys, everyone is learning about themselves. Yeah, I saw a post today on Facebook. We're going to pull one more card, and then we're going to pull an oracle card. I want one more card on the Knight of Vessels. I saw a post today on Facebook. Somebody said that, I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but like the thing that Satan's greatest accomplishment was that he tricked everyone on who the creator was. And so I made a comment. It's like, you mean the self? Because all of us create our own reality. If you're ever looking at something else as the creator, you're ignoring yourself, and you are double-minded. You are not of one mind. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything. It's just, it is what it is. A lot of, everyone, this is all self-discovery. You have to understand that you're creating your own reality. The way that you present yourself to other people and the way you feel about yourself will dictate how other people respond to you. And what you'll try to pull out of them as well. Because, none of us want to see each other in pain. That is the worst thing. There's nothing more than I would, and I'm 100% honest about this. If, it took a sacrifice for everybody to drop all their baggage and everybody to just let go of all the conflict and just start serving each other in peace, the money would go away, everything would go away. I would gladly give my life for that, right? Wouldn't you? I mean, this is just a vessel, right? It's not like we're going away. We're all going to the same place. It's just the people are in such conflict. You have to accept the conflict as part of life, because it is. You're looking at that's why I love this deck, because it's got the double tree, right? I mean, half of reality is in a state of darkness or in a state of conflict. That's the main thing, is that you're in conflict with yourself in the bottom side here. Once you get to the top side, or get to the middle state of balance, now you're no longer in conflict with anything or anybody. Right? Because you accept where people are at. And then you can love them accordingly. That's why mastering that state of mind is so important. Then you're no longer in conflict with somebody who is in conflict. You're no longer in conflict with somebody who isn't. Right? That's all part of you. The seer. I like this version of the High Priestess. I love this deck. If you guys want a really cool deck, the Wildwood Tarot deck is excellent. The seer. High Priestess. She's just looking into the water, right? It's a Pisces. Holding a wand in one hand and seeing, because the seer actually affects their environment a little bit. I don't know if you guys know that, but obviously if you're watching readings on YouTube, it's affecting the way you're going to present yourself to the people around you, depending on what kind of readings you're listening to, right? Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you on the flip side. I don't think. Well, let's get an oracle card before I go. I love oracle cards. They're really generalized, but they give good advice. Oops. This is from yesterday. I had a beautiful day today. It was beautiful outside. Can't wait for more spring to get here. I'm going to make some phone calls this weekend. I really want to hit the river here real soon. Celestial Teacher. You guys are turning into the Celestial Teacher. Look at your brain. Your brain is off the charts. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and we'll catch you on the flip side.